to start with a statement from Mr. Ross, then Rodney Barreto, then we'll open up the floor to questions. Ready? We're still waiting on a couple words in that.
I'd just like to say I'm very disappointed that Miami was not selected for either Super Bowl 50 or 51. I think our bid was a terrific bid. The Super Bowl committee, led by Rodney Barreto, has done a sensational job. I was really proud to say when I was watching it, and that when all the bids were finished, I really thought we had a hell of a chance. But you know, I've been saying for a while that we need to do something with our stadiums, and I think the owners spoke, and as I thought they might, though I was hoping against it. But that I think that's probably the major reason we didn't win. I think everybody in that room would rather be in Miami in February than they would anywhere else in the country. And I think no one knows how to host the Super Bowl better than Miami. So with that, I'm disappointed, and I want to thank you, Rodney, for the great job and time that your whole committee put into this, and really sorry that we didn't compare.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Like Mr. Ross, I'm very disappointed. I suspect that there's a couple of state reps down in Miami-Dade County where I live that are going to look in the mirror tonight and realize that this was a huge mistake. And I'm talking about Representative Beleca and Trujillo, who led the effort to stop the vote in Miami-Dade County, which was on the way, which was funded by the Dolphins. This was an easy task to allow the vote to continue. I believe that vote would have happened. The stadium, the voters would have passed the renovation, and that the outcome today, we would be hosting Super Bowl 50. There's no doubt in my mind, talking to the other couple of the chairmen, we had the better bid. I could just look at the body language from the NFL staff. We had the better bid. There's no doubt. And it's a shame, but you know, for a couple of folks down in South Florida put us on a track, we may not see another Super Bowl for 10 years. The problem with us is we are fat and happy, and we do it so well, and everybody just expects it's going to come again. And I've been saying all along, what other communities have figured out is what we've known all along, is that Super Bowls are great for your community. They're great for business. They're great for hotels. They're great for restaurants. Great for your cab fares, your airports. Everybody has figured out what we've known all along. And that's why all these cities who've never competed for Super Bowls before are competing. It's all about business. And again, I think there's a couple state reps down in Miami, where I live, that are going to look in the mirror tonight and going to regret what they've done to Miami. This Super Bowl ain't coming back probably for another 10 years, in my opinion. We may have a baseball all-star game or World Series before we get another Super Bowl, which is a shame. So, hey, am I upset? Yes, I'm upset. This is not, you know, we worked hard. I want to thank, you know, the executive committee, Nikki Grossman from Broward County, Bill Talbot from Miami-Dade County, Bruce Colan, Mike D, Mike Zimmer, who's the president, Martha Lindner, Matt Moore, for all their efforts. None of these people are paid. We all volunteer our time, our energy for our community, one that we love and we cherish. And that, you know, good business is bringing a great Super Bowl to your community, because, you know, there's a lot of intangibles that come along with the Super Bowl that a lot of people don't realize. And one of those intangibles is about $100 million worth of free publicity for your area. So you can't just buy that. I mean, you can if you want to write a check, but we're not writing a check for $100 million. We rather get a great Super Bowl, have all that energy in our community, have all our hotelers, all our businesses enjoying all the business that needs to be spread around. Bill?
Well, thank you, Mr. Ross, for your leadership, and Rodney for your energy. We share the disappointment, and I think Rodney's hit it. The priceless media coverage we get, upwards to $1 million. Either Miami or the Fort Lauderdale Bureau could buy that. It's free. It's in the winter. It's warm in Miami, and it's cold everywhere else. So that's a space we occupy, and we're going to get another Super Bowl. Right, Mr. Ross?
Won't stop trying.
Thank you. But, thank you for all of your leadership.
Any questions? We'll open the floor to questions.
Yeah. Mr. Ross, if you had to do it over again, what would you have done differently?
Well, I think we tried everything, you know, we thought we covered all our bases, you know, it was all in a condensed period of time. We didn't really, you know, anticipate there'd be a referendum. We saw the virtues. I knew that the deal that I put on the table has never been offered by any owner in any sport for a stadium or arena in the country. I thought that would get the job done because I really wanted to see it. I wanted that to be my legacy. So, I mean, you know, I think we were all surprised that we weren't at least able to vote from that standpoint. I think we have to look forward now and figure out how do we make it happen. It should be a real true public-private partnership. That's how all these other cities got their stadiums. That's how the new stadiums are being built in this country. And I think that hopefully Miami, you know, recognizes that and what it does for Miami, and that we can figure out a solution to make it happen as soon as possible.
Steve, during the discussions and the presentation, how early of a signal did you get that the stadium was really going to be the biggest obstacle?
I've been saying, I mean, I guess back in about 2010, Roger indicated that at a press conference. And being a real estate developer, you know, my job is to have vision and to see things. And I really emphasized that, and we went to work on really trying to put together a modernization of the stadium. Spent a lot of time and effort in doing that, recognizing that would prohibit us from getting future Super Bowls. So, I mean, we put a lot of work in it because I knew it would take that. And, you know, the bid was so good today, and knowing people want to be in Miami, I was, you know, a little optimistic that maybe we could prevail. But I think it didn't surprise a lot of people, you know, that we didn't prevail. So.
Ross, obviously, the Super Bowl is off the table for the time being, but the fact is, obviously, the Dolphins still have to play 8 home games a year there. So where does this put you in terms of the stadium looking forward? I know you haven't had time to really look a whole lot about it, but...
Well, I mean, as I said early on, you know, it was good for the Dolphins, but it was really more important for the community. Bringing marquee events to Miami-Dade County was really the most important thing. We'll fill up the stadium if we win. And Miami loves winners, as we all know. And my job is to really make sure that we win. And I like where the direction we're going today. And I think if we win on the field, we'll fill up the seats. But at the same time, we won't be able to bring marquee events to Miami without a renovated stadium.
Armando?
Steve, do you see a point in time in the future where you can say to yourself, let's try this again, let's make an effort to, you know, get the partnership between the public sector and the private sector going again, other than, you know, 10 years forward? Or...
Well, you know, like me, I mean, I'd like to, you know, sit down tomorrow and figure out that solution. I think people in Miami, I think they have to digest the fact that, one, they didn't win when they thought they would, and two, what do we have to do to make that happen? I'm totally prepared to sit down with anybody and try and figure out a solution. As I said, I think what I've offered in the past, you know, I want this to be my legacy, where really Miami is in a position to get marquee events, you know, going forward in the future. And I think everybody will benefit, and that's what it's all about. You know, it's about jobs, it's about tourism, it's about having Miami being that aspirational city in the world, enjoying the ranks of the great cities of the world. And that's what I see Miami. You can see it happening in almost every other area, and I would hope that people would see it in, you know, in the event area as well.
Last question for Craig.
Yes, how long do you see that stadium being viable for the Dolphins, let alone the Super Bowls, but just for the Dolphins without renovation?
Well, I mean, you have to continue to do something with it, but I mean, I think, you know, what happens, you get to a certain point, and then it becomes more obsolete faster. You know, I mean, I think now it's a lot cheaper to spend the money today in doing it and bring it up to speed. I mean, our plans were really to make it the equivalent of a new stadium. We were really doing everything you could, and I think one, being a real estate developer and a builder down there, we would have gotten a lot more bang for the buck for the dollars we spent to make it a new stadium. I think, you know, if you continue waiting, you're gonna have to build a whole new stadium, you know, and then it's gonna be a question of where in South Florida does that stadium, you know, reside. But I want it to be in Miami, where it is, with a modernized stadium.
Okay, perfect, thank you.